this, I guess.
Yes, Brad's on vacation, so.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the July 27th meeting of the Sturbridge Planning Board. First item will be to approve the minutes of June 22nd. Then we have an approval not required request from the Trail, 312 and 314 The Trail. Following that, we'll have a request for a Phase 3 covenant release request from Blueberry Hill Estates. Then we have a waiver of site plan request for Table 3 Restaurants. Then we'll hear from our Economic Development Director, Coordinator, with an update on economic development here in Sturbridge. Then we'll have the Town Planner update, old and new business. And tonight, we're also welcoming our new Town Planner, Aiden Adams. So, welcome. I think you've got to meet everyone. Oh, and we are being recorded, yes, even though we do say that, I guess that's, thank you very much for that. Okay, so has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of June 22nd? Yes. Okay, any motions, any questions or anything? Motion to approve as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, all in favor? Very good. So we have the A&R, Jane, do you want to go over that? Or?
Yes, so you have a plan before you tonight, and this is for property on the trail. It's 312 and 314 The Trail, and you'll see that there's a small portion of land, a little over 7,200 square feet, that's being transferred from Scavera to Colonnesi, and that's shown as parcel A on the plan. And the plan is noted that it's not to be considered a separate building lot, and it's to be conveyed and combined with land at 314 The Trail to form one contiguous lot. And you'll notice on there the frontage is not being impacted at all. It's just part of the side yard. So the remaining land has more than sufficient frontage and area. And since the plan meets the requirements, I would recommend the board endorse the plan as submitted.
Okay, any questions or comments from anyone? If not, can we have a motion to endorse the plan?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Very good.
Sue, don't leave until you sign that tonight.
Yep, we have to sign that.
I will.
Okay, very good. All right, next we have the Blueberry Hill Estates, the Phase 3 covenant release request. How you doing?
Hi.
Good to see you. Welcome. You want to go over it?
So we have with us Justin Stella this evening, and I've been sending you all of the inspection reports, and as you can tell from the reports, Justin's moving along really nicely at his Blueberry Hill Estates project. In fact, Aiden and I went up there this afternoon so that I could show Aiden around, and things look great. Justin is very responsive to any deficiencies noted at all, the slightest issue with a silt fence or anything. He's very responsive to that, so appreciate that. Today, he would like to request that the lots on Rose Lane be released in Phase 3, and that's so that he can get that roadway ready and have some pad sites installed this fall so that he can get moving on those for the winter. And in exchange, we would propose to increase the tripartite agreement by $140,000, so that would increase the tripartite to $322,675.68. And in exchange, we would release lots 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 57, 58, and 59. All of the figures on the construction schedule have been reviewed by myself, by Heather Blakely, our DPW director, and also by John Shevlin, our third-party peer reviewer, and none of us have any concerns, and we would recommend that the board allow this change. So if the board agrees, your appropriate motion would be to move to release the above-noted lots in Phase 3 on Rose Lane from the covenant recorded in Book 70254, page 123, and to increase the tripartite lender's agreement from $182,075.68 to $322,675.68. Permits may not be issued until the road is passable for emergency vehicles.
Okay, would anyone like that motion?
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Any discussion, comments, questions? Justin, anything you'd like to add or anything?
No, I think Gene covered it Well, as she always does. You know, we're getting ready, Phase 3 for Rose Lane, we're putting in the electric infrastructure tomorrow.
Great.
And then we just have to do our box of gravel, we're ready to pave it, so it's moving along well, and that'll gear us up, as Gene said, to do some pads this fall for move-in dates for people for 2027.
Great. I drove the other day. It really looks good. You've done a great
Yeah,
job.
thank you.
Very good.
How many occupants are up there?
So we have 7 sold right now. We have 4 more at least moving in this year. And then we're set to open Phase 3 reservations in probably a week and a half. And we have a list of about 15 people that are at least interested.
Okay, good.
4 or 5 have said that they do want to move next year. So, yeah, it's coming along.
Yeah,
That's
good.
very good. Very, very good. Okay, so any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Very good.
And if you could please all stay and sign the agreement documents, and so I can notarize them this evening, and then Justin, if you want
Want me to sign
to
it
come
now?
back, if you could sign yours,
Sure, yeah.
and then I can notarize that as well, and then if you could come back tomorrow and I'll give you the packet.
Yep,
Okay.
that works.
Or you can sign yours when you come into the office tomorrow, too. Go ahead and sign
I'll
yours
sign it
now.
now. Thank you.
In case I'm not in the office when you come in, at least I've witnessed your signature. The tripartite. And the bank has signed theirs. It's just, Justin doesn't have the original with him, so he has to bring that back
We
tomorrow.
both thought we were bringing the original
Yeah.
this morning, and nobody brought it.
Yes. I think you're on the last page, Justin. Jenna will take it. See you tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you
Very
too.
good, thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have a request for a waiver of site plan approval for Table 3 Restaurant Group doing business as Cedar Street Grill. The plan is to add a new 14 by 13-foot cooler and related site improvements. Brad?
So we're looking to do that to, of course, update our cooling systems in the building. They're very old and everything. So we're just looking to have a better storage area for food and maintain proper temperature.
Gene, you have a report on it? I know you
Yes.
reviewed this.
I do, and so I went out to the site and met with Brad, and as you can see, the cooler addition, it's really more of a, it's called a cooler addition, but it really will look like part of the building. And so if you've ever been out to the site, you know there are a few parking spots there that are, in my opinion, kind of tricky parking spots. They're not the ones that I would prefer to park in. And it's as the property kind of slopes down toward the building there. So this addition will go in that area that slopes down. So it really, where the end of the addition will be right where the property is really very level. And then over on the side of the addition, more toward the driveway side, that side slopes down toward the driveway. And there will be gutters on the addition. They are not shown on the architectural rendering, but there will be gutters on this addition. And there are gutters on the main building as well. And these gutters drain into, there's a planted area there. So they kind of come down onto that planted area, and there's some stone there. And then it sheet flows across the driveway. The driveway's pitched to have the flow go across the driveway, and then it goes down the driveway and into a catch basin. So that's how the stormwater system is designed. And I know I sent you comments from Dane, who unfortunately, he must have been delayed at work today, but he was concerned about the sheet flow of the drainage. But when I went out, it does appear that everything will be, pitched to go directly into that storm drain, so I don't see that as a concern. They are leaving the pavement in place. They're only saw cutting around the proposed addition for several reasons. One is the purveyors will actually pull up and deliver through that cooler unit. So all the cold product will be coming in through that doorway. So you wouldn't want to remove that impervious surface for that reason. Deliveries do take place prior to the restaurant opening, so there are no conflicts with the pedestrians or customers visiting the restaurant. And then there will not be any conflicts with filling the propane tank, because right now they use DeLeo gas, and by arrangement with DeLeo, they come prior to opening as well. It's also important to note that the restaurant is closed on Monday and Tuesday, so a lot of these things take place during their closed times. And as you know, they own the property across the street, and there's a 188 space parking lot. So they have modified the shared parking agreement between themselves. Even though they're only losing 3 parking spaces, they increased the agreement next door for 10 additional spaces. That still leaves an extra 20 spaces next door, and that would even be if a wedding were taking place. And so you have to think, if there's a wedding taking place, that's mostly on a Friday night when all of the other businesses are closed, like the vision care, the marketing business, and things like that. So for instance, when I went out for my first site visit, it was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which was lunchtime. The restaurant was open. Cedar Street Cafe was open. All those businesses were open. I was one of 2 cars parked in the upper lot. So there's more than sufficient parking. The great part about this too is, before when we were doing shared parking agreements across the street, we were a little nervous about that. But thanks to the Complete Streets grant, we're actually installed the sidewalk, which looks fantastic, and there's actually a crosswalk with a flashing beacon there now. So it makes it so much
That's better.
safer
Yeah, that's really
for
good.
customers crossing, or just even people walking down Cedar Street, crossing the road. And not part of this project, but where the sign is at the barn, the entrance to the barn, they have a beautiful landscape plan that will be installed now that the sidewalk work is done. So it will really enhance that. It will update that light to make it even more visible there. So I think it will all in all be safe. It will give them ample storage for their cold products. And at the end of the day, the one last thing is, if there's any ability to create an ADA parking space in the paved area that's left, they would like to do so. It's very difficult to judge that today going out to the site. I brought Aiden out. Technically, Bill LePage is our ADA coordinator. My recommendation would be that we insert an additional condition that after construction, Brad contact the planning department, and that Bill LePage and Aiden go out for an inspection. And if it seems feasible, that an additional ADA parking space be added, because it could certainly use one.
It has the one, and that was what I was thinking when I was designing this area. How can we gain something if we lose something?
Right.
We're not just looking to put a walk-in in the back parking lot. Sturbridge is all about the look, and we're about the look of our businesses, so we wanted to enclose it
Enhance it.
so it looks nice from all aspects of it. It's not like you're going past the ice cream stand and you see the freezer out back.
Right.
You won't see that. That's the purpose of this building, strictly to make it look good.
And I would recommend also, in addition to that, if it can't accommodate an ADA space because of the grade or because of a safe access way, that maybe it could accommodate a regular parking
Yeah,
space.
it definitely would, I think, be able to do that, but I'd like to try to get one more handicap spot in there.
So I recommend approval of the waiver. No other staff concerns were noted. DPW director she noted no dirt or debris would be allowed to accumulate on the town roadway.
No.
And the contractor would have to clean if needed. And no discharge of the condensed water is allowed into the sewer
Yeah,
system.
of course.
So, excuse me, I would recommend approval of the waiver with the one condition that I had added, that all other necessary permits and approvals must be obtained prior, I said opening, prior to construction, that should say, and that a post-construction review for an additional ADA parking space shall be conducted by the town planner and ADA coordinator.
Very good. Any questions or comments?
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
With this being an enclosure permanent, so this is not a structure, it's not a piece of machinery, what is the intended use? Is this going to be a cooler or a freezer or a
It's
combination?
going to be a big walk-in refrigerator.
Just for refrigeration?
Yeah, it's refrigeration.
Yeah, and is it going to be prefabricated interior walls with insulation, or you're going to?
Yes, exactly. So the company, I already put the deposit on it. It will come in and they'll build it once we get the structure started,
Yeah,
and that's all by.
because otherwise, if it was a freezer, you'd need an R value in the floor, and you'd need like R36 on the
It's
walls.
good to go, it's all,
But I see it's like R26
Yeah,
or something, which
it's-
is fine.
yeah. We do everything right to code, we don't shortcut things.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but it wasn't noted in the plan
Yeah,
exactly
no, if I
what.
needed to do something different, I would, but that's what
Yeah.
the Angel's Refrigeration
And
recommends.
it's certainly
us to
worth
do.
for aesthetic purposes to
Well,
hide the box.
That's the only thing that building's
Yeah,
mainly gonna, hide, because I could put this right out back.
yeah.
They look bad, they really look
Yeah.
bad outside restaurants.
Are you gonna put the refrigeration unit on top?
No,
or
inside of it, so you will never see it.
Even
Oh, the box, I believe it's
The
gonna
outside
be
box?
inside, yeah, it's gonna be
oh,
inside,
you're gonna have vent wall?
yeah,
Okay,
so,
nice.
yeah, it's gonna look good when it's done. You'll never tell it's there, and that's what we want.
Very good, very good. Any other questions or comments? If not, we have a motion with the conditions that Gene stated.
So moved?
I'll second that.
Any other discussion, all in favor?
Thank you.
Like your T-shirt.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have the Economic Development presentation by Terry Masterson, our Economic Development and Tourism Coordinator. Terry, welcome.
Ready to go? We're going to cover some of the topics we've done before, the latest spending trends for meal and hotel revenues, some retail activity. There's a lot of news about how we promote and market Sturbridge, attendance and visitorship data. A lot of good news about 660 Main Street and some new business investments into Sturbridge. Positive events so far this year, and then an update on future efforts and initiatives. There's a lot of tiny trends in all of this data, so I don't want to be henny penny, if you will, because consistently, the meal spending last year was $21 million for 4 straight quarters, like it was 4 of a kind in a card game. And it showed also that if you look back in 2017 and 2018, you had the seasonal fluctuations, and that's now all dissipated. Now it's like the sales are consistent through all 4 seasons. But if you take this year's meals, results, you can see that this spring, from spring of '25, there was a decline from 21 million to 19 million. And if you look at the next 2 quarters, and they do as well as the previous seasons, you might have a 4% decline in meal spending, which is not a lot. But in terms of all the increased visitorship from 250 and the rising price of food, you just wonder if there's more there. And I spoke to a restaurant owner, and he said that his sales were down 3%, but he wasn't that concerned about it. So I don't want to be henny penny and, jump up and down. But I don't want to not mention it and say, look where we are. I mean, it's not going to rocket up like it did, after COVID. But you can see 41%, 13%, 5%, 4%, and then last year was a good year, it was up 8%. So anyway, so I just share that for some frame of reference. And I've made these points here, and so we can skip that one. Hotel revenue is interesting because I want to say, I keep thinking when I look at these numbers that the Department of Revenue, maybe they receive their revenue reports from businesses across the Commonwealth for meals and hotel, and it isn't reported consistently. And I'm not criticizing them per se, because there's like anomalies here. Like in 2025, in the winter, nearly $5 million of hotel revenue, for when the previous year and the year after, it was 3.2 million. It was like, well, what accounted for that huge increase? And then you see it again here in the spring, 4.7 million in 2024, but each boxcar year ahead and behind was 3.2, 3.6 million. So that's sitting in there. But if you do look at 2025 to the winter of 26, that's a big decline. And then you see a minimal gain here in the spring from last year to this year. So it's interesting how to read it. But again, if you come back over here, you can see in 2023, summer and fall, you were doing $7.5 million a quarter. Then it fell to 6.5, and now it's back up to 7. So it's mixed. I don't want to, again, be overanalyzing it and getting into the weeds, but it's worth bringing it up, because if the summer and fall are the same as last year, then you're going to come out at 21 million, and you'll be almost 10% below last year. So it's anyway, it's worth mentioning. Hotel comparisons spending we're not much different to some extent. You can see Springfield was at 33 million, in 25, 32 million. They're now at 13 million through the end of July, or excuse me, the end of June. And so they may or may not have, they may be consistent with those numbers. And then again with DOR, in 2022, there were 2 quarters where it's 0. There's nothing there. And that's, I don't know whether that's DOR or whether that's, the Springfield eateries and restaurants not reporting. So we're where we are. And Worcester as well, you can see they're pretty steady Eddie, 15 million, 17, 16.7 million, 16.7 up to 17. Now they're at 7.2 million. But again, when you get into summer and fall, that's when hotel revenue will bump up. So you can't double these numbers and say that would be the year-end total, if you know what I'm saying. So again, hotel revenues have averaged 21 million to 22 million since 2023. Since the summer and fall of 2023, revenues for 25 and 26 were lower than 2023. And hotel visitorship remains seasonal with a shift of 80 to 100% from winter to summer and fall. So meals tax has become all season, but hotel is still, off-peak and on-peak. Retail overview, there are 131 small businesses, tourism-related businesses. By my count, food and beverage, there's 52, if you can believe, which is 40% of the audience. We have 13 hotel and we have 11 hotels and 2 RV parks, 31 retail stores, specialty shops, 20 related to health and fitness, which is a significant cluster, and then 12 for personal care, and then the 3 event venues. So again, a lot of businesses for a very town of our size is, pretty impressive. Retail openings and closings, if you look at it, there's since 2024 to 2026, it's 23 opens and 19 closings, and we have 4 or 5 vacancies, so it almost, evens out arithmetically speaking. Closings we've had a lot of closings in the last year, but then we've had a lot of openings as well. So it's all to the good. My Collective, Frisbee's Dairy Barn, Angelina's 5-Star Games opened. Manja Benny took the space that was held by Trail Dusters. The Iron Club is about to open. The Threads Boutique has really become a very nice store if anyone has been in the Milliard building. So there's a lot of, and the people that own the little rest stop are really great people. So there's really got a lot of good news in terms of what's going on.
Excuse me.
Milliard building currently has 4 vacancies, and it had 4 vacancies last year. And yet there's a lot of good news in that the Mass Motion Dance has greatly expanded their presence. They've gone from the first or second floor and the ground floor up to the 3rd floor, where they have almost half the floor, which is really very great to see. And The flea market is there, Red Products, Channel 3 Games. The other good news is that a new bookstore opened in the ground floor, The Cursed Page, and they've taken a substantial footprint, and they're up and running and in business, which is good to see. So yeah, the current status of the Mill Yard is that 16 tenants with 4 vacancies, so there's a good picture there. Again, the summary is there were 16 tenants in '26, and there's 17 in 2025. There are 4 vacancies now. Cursed Page opened. Brush It Off, Threads, Mass Motion have expanded. Deep Roots expanded into the grain axe throwing, and they took the Mexican restaurant space, but we know that was a while ago. Soup to Nuts is closed. That space is still empty. And then they had a lot of office tenants in here. They've departed. They had Excel, North Point, Rusulo Engineering, the Elevator Operating School, so they're all gone. It's now mostly a retail building, which is interesting. So again, the retail summary, we did that, 131 businesses, most are locally owned, 6 vacancies in '23, 5 in '24, and 7 to 8 this year, and 4 vacancies in the Mill Yard, so that's good. Here we have some positive business investments to talk about. Photonis expansion, 660 Main Street construction, and the Beckett Training Center. As Gene knows, and Robin, Photonis has announced that they will retain their position here in Sturbridge and expand. And for the past year, maybe more than a year, we've been working with them along with the Commonwealth's Mass Development Office and their Economic Development Office to offer them incentives and encouragements to expand here and not potentially go to another location that they have in Pennsylvania. The news has been recently released, and the Worcester Business Journal just did a very nice article on this, and I'm quoting some of it here. They received $1.02 million in Massachusetts state tax credits for a night vision manufacturing facility. The town explored a TIF, but for a variety of reasons of who would own the building and how much space was being occupied, it really was determined that the TIF would have been not of enough value to even, make the effort. So, but at least we tried to explore that. This will be the company's first U.S. manufacturing site and will create 25 new jobs. Photonis estimates that the total cost of this project will be $15 to $20 million. And as I noted, the town worked closely with Photonis and economic officials from the Commonwealth, so that was all good. This was a very nice event that was held last week, that the Heal dispensary space, which is on Route 20, which I think we're all familiar with, has been taken by a company from Ohio that is been in the business for 80 years making boilers and furnaces, very sophisticated equipment, and they sell these burners and generators to obviously a broad customer base. And this is a training center that they just opened up in the Hill building. And so on July 21st, they held a ribbon cutting ceremony to not only open their new training facility, but to dedicate the facility to a longtime employee who had passed away after 40 years of service. The grandson of the founder of R.W. Beckett is Kevin Beckett, and he's here. And he was the MC for the event, and it was a very touching event because he invited members of this gentleman's family. And so they were there to watch the ribbon cutting and the dedication, and you can see the gentleman's name is now on the building, and it showed how much the company cared for him, as well as the family as well. And they also played a video from the chairman of R.W. Beckett, who's the son of the founder, and he's 88 years old. So Kevin is the president, and his father is still the chairman of the board, if you will. And he gave a 15-minute video that was just the most eloquent, almost biography of Mr. Rosga, and saying he had hired him when he was 18 because he was full of energy and, you know, perseverance and dedication, and how well he had worked for the company. So when he was finished, there wasn't a dry eye, because there had to be a good 100 people at this event, because there were people who used the training facility, came customers and clients, as well as Beckett employees. They gave us tours of the building, and it's very impressive to see in the basement of the building are all their latest generating burners and furnaces. None of them are very large. It's all very sophisticated, and they use that to actually give people hands-on experience in operating them, which I thought was very impressive. And they have a classroom, because it's really not a very big building. You kind of wonder how they balance all that space out. But they're very happy.
Located.
Pardon?
Where's it located?
If you come down 20 and you pass McNuck's, and then you go
On
past...
the left or on the right?
It would be on the right. If you pass
McNuck's is on the right.
Hearthstone,
Right.
and right
Okay.
ahead, you'll see, it's like a very nice white barnish-looking building. Looks like a barn. And,
Where the
Medical marijuana.
medical marijuana place was.
yes, that's where Hill was.
Now, is this the only training center they have, or they have them elsewhere?
I think they have others.
Yeah.
This might be the one for the Northeast.
Yeah,
And the economic impact of it, though, is enormous, because they're bringing in, through the course of the year, thousands of students. And they stay at hotels, and they're here for 1 or 2 nights. And so you compound that, you know, over time. And again, it's an interesting comment to hear that number of these Beckett staff know all the restaurants on Route 20.
oh, that's great.
It's not an insignificant, and Gene will know, the Photonis executive said the same thing, right? I mean, if those restaurants weren't here, would it make a difference where they wanted to go? You know, so anyway,
I have
That's
a
good.
Beckett burner on my oil burner. I didn't realize about this company. I knew the company, I didn't know that it was bigger. The same family owns it. That's
everyone should go to their website. It's a very interesting company, family-owned, and they're very faith-based. And so there's a real commitment to their employees, to quality. It's very interesting corporate culture to hear.
Where's their headquarters?
It's in Lancastershire, Ohio.
That's how-
Okay, yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah, and, yeah, very, very nice people, so that was
It's
a
a good
real
land
pleasure
vacation.
to go to that.
Sturbridge. Nice, thank you.
These are some photographs of the Jim Cecchiaroni's 40,000 square foot building, which is now going to contain, you know, Photonis and hopefully some other tenants. The construction is well underway, so that's been a good positive for the town. We've been trying, or the town has been trying to beautify parts of Route 20 and Route 131. So the STA was approached by Robin Grimm and Barbara Berry and Heather Blakely to see if some community support funding could be provided to help do landscape design work, and then be able to have the funds to purchase some of these plantings, which was done. And so you see the results of that this spring and summer. The STA is also paying this summer for 2 laborers to maintain the plantings and the greenery. So the green spots are going to be here at Route 20 and 131, and then further east across from the State Police Barracks, the STA will be doing an Adopt a Road sign and an Adopt a Road green spot as well. So that's all very nice and positive, particularly with the 250 parade and just the whole idea of having a good front door for the town to also support the sign as well, the welcome sign. As we all know, the town recently received grant funding to parallel with town funding to construct a pedestrian bridge over the Quabog River from the 501 Main Street parking lot over to the Grand Trunk Trail. This connection will link the trail to a town parking lot on the Retail 20 corridor. The Grand Trunk Trail runs to Stallion Hill Road and the old Sturbridge Village campus, so there's a lot of connections there. Connecting the trails to a town-centric parking lot may generate foot traffic and consumer spending for businesses along Route 20. It's a minor example, but East Hampton's trail has a tandem bagel shop, and it's always busy, it's always full. So there's some sensibility to putting trails near stores and shops. So I think, as Gene knows, a lot of people did a lot of hard work to get the funding and pull all of that together, and it's been going on for several years. So it's all to their credit as well. Marketing Sturbridge. You have hard copies of the marketing report from Tap Into Travel for 2026. Janae can send you the full electronic copy. What I did was I took out the pages that were more data-driven to give you an idea of the digital outreach and the amount of reaches and click-throughs and recommends and likes for all of the efforting that Tap Into Travel has done for the first 6 months of this year. And website visitors, just to rattle off some of the statistics, 39,000 in 2025, 57,000 in 2024, and 34,000 so far through the first half of 2026. Facebook and Instagram in 2025, 376,000 viewed, and in through quarter two of 2026, they're up to 312,000. Online ad campaigns have reached 250,000 people in 2025 and 211,000 in 2026, because through the first 6 months, Tap Into Travel has done 2 digital marketing campaigns for us. It's also interesting that in 2025, the Acorn Project had the highest level of interaction with viewers at 51,000 views. And in 2026, the top organic post was the Hamilton Rod and Gun Club with 86,000 views and 54,000 reaches. That's amazing. BTI also has delivered blogs per month on various business spotlights. And as I said, see your printed copy of the 2026 report, and you'll get a digital copy. So that's good. Visitorship and attendance, as we've run this panel before, it's anywhere from 500 to 650 or maybe 700,000 people through a variety of inlets, the hotel occupancy, RV park attendance at Old Sturbridge Village, the Brimfield Antique Shows, weddings estimated at 300 or 400 a year, and outdoor trail usage. So that's all very good as well to report. Present and future efforts and initiatives. For the current year, or one of the prior reports, we talked about an illustrated map of Sturbridge. Make an effort to work with the Worcester Small Business Development Corporation, because it's been kind of hard to figure out how they view us in a regional way. There was some question as to whether we were in the Springfield region or the Worcester region. We are in the Worcester-Clark University region. So we've been able to, reach out to them, and I'll talk more about that in a second. Also to work more closely with the Chamber, with the new reorganization that they've had, and also been slowly trying to update or get the funding for updating the 2021 economic assessment. So the illustrated map is completed, and we've made verbal and voice contact with the Worcester SBDC, and I've made 3 referrals to Susan Doran, who is my contact there, and one of the goals is to go up and say hello to them. But small business counseling is very important, and it's something I always try to push when I talk to businesses. Chamber partnership has been very positive. Every 3 months, I meet with Virginia Murphy and Erica Howard, who's on the board. We meet regularly. They've done ribbon cuttings where we've participated and enjoyed that. And in fact, there's going to be a ribbon cutting within the next week or so for a eye care facility, eye care store. I've always made it a point to promote Chamber memberships to businesses, and I continue to do that. The Chamber is also helping us when we need public service announcements to get out to their membership and through their digital media platforms. And then we've discussed, and the STA has agreed with it, that to have the chamber sponsor the annual Business of the Year award. And the proposal that I had made was I would be willing to do the administration of it, in other words, to do the promotion of it, the tallying the votes and doing all of that, but the chamber could present the awards, and that would help the chamber get some further standing within the business community, and give them some spotlight as well. So we've talked about that, and I think that's what we will do. Updating the 2021 economic assessment, I've been trying to get cost estimates for doing a full review of it or just doing a data point update. One estimate was for $40,000 to do a full update of the entire plan, and the current estimate to just do an update of the data points is $24,000. So I'm hopeful with the new fiscal year and the funding that the STA has, that we can hopefully talk to them about doing that. And the Central Mass Regional Planning has said they would be willing to work on that, so we have that lined up. So for 2026, goals are to secure funding for the economic assessment update and to go forward with that. And then this is to say that Tap Into Travel or Break the Ice Media has been our marketing firm for the past 4 years, and they've done an excellent, excellent job. Their contract expired after 2 renewals, and under procurement law, we had to go out and do a request for quotation. So we went out and solicited quotes from 3 firms, which was Excel, which is based here. We asked Sperling. Sperling is a very well-known, in-depth tourism marketing firm. They do Salem and a lot of other top-tier communities. And then we also gave the offer to get a quote from Tap Into Travel. So the lowest bidder was Sperling, so we awarded them. And this will be a 1-year contract. And the goal this year is to come out with an RFP, a request for proposal, and put it out there and take proposals from firms and to try to obtain a 3-year commitment from some firm, so that we don't have to go year to year. So that will be important for us to do. My feeling is that Sperling has already said that they would apply for that, and Tap Into Travel said they would as well. So we'll see how it goes. Sperling's offer was very low, so what I've learned from the process is that it would stand to reason they would be just as low for the RFP, so we'll see how that works out. And having gone through the RFP process and understanding more about what firms charge to do marketing services, we were talking to Brimfield a while ago about how we can help them market themselves, because they were working with a grant and with a marketing firm, and those funds ran out. So they weren't necessarily looking to us for funding, but they were looking to us for help. And so we've had conversations with the STA. They came and met with the STA 2 different monthly meetings. And so what I'm thinking, having learned a little bit from the process of understanding how much some of these firms are going to charge you to provide marketing services, that I want to go back to the Brimfield stakeholders and sort of figure out what kind of resources they have, what kind of a budget could they come up with, and whether they can themselves have the wherewithal to find a firm, because it's not a lot of money. It's really not. And their event is 3 times a year. We're looking for 52 weeks of promotion. They're looking for more seasonal promotion. So I have reached out to Rich Sudum at Excel, because he was their marketing person, to try to hear more about his experience with them, so I can help me understand a little bit more about what the goals are, and then to see how maybe we can help them indirectly. Because if anybody comes to Brimfield, they're going to come through here to get there. So to me, it's other goals are continue the Route 20 beautification and litter cleanups, continue to visit businesses. The town will be coming out with a new municipal website, so we will be asked to update the information that's there. And then we're currently updating the tourism guide. So those are some future goals.
Could you expand a little bit more on what the economic assessment purposes and what it does, what we would be doing with it?
It's an excellent report that lists all kinds of data and statistics on the town, residents, businesses, home-based businesses? Where do people travel for work? What are resident income levels? So to me, to have that data, when you had it 5 years ago, now all that data is kind of sunsetted in some way. And so there could be a need if you're going to apply for a grant, whether it's a municipal grant or a tourism grant, to have that kind of data, I think is really worthwhile. You know, and you may never need it, but if you don't have it, and whereas if you did it and you never redid it 5 years later, then it doesn't, if life can change in 5 years. So, I've been kind of hesitant about pushing it because I know some people might be sensitive to the cost, but at the same time, I keep thinking that there's a lot of value to having that they're ready to go if you really need it, or if planning needs it, you know.
I'm wondering, what's on the Route 20 beautification plan? What's that all about?
It's what you see now. It's the work of the town through the DPW and the town
All that,
administrator.
okay.
And to identify, I would say 4 green spot areas. One is east, across from the Massachusetts State Police Barracks.
Right, you had mentioned
And then at the
that.
travel pyramid, between 131 and 20, there's three greens, I'll call them.
Okay.
Use golf course terminology. And those 3 green spots are the candidates for beautification, which you can see now have been flowered and planted and landscaped.
Right, looks
So the
nice.
goal is to do that, which has been done, and then to maintain it through the summer into the fall, which we have the funding for. And then I would assume we're going to continue to do that the following year.
How about the strip down the center of 20? You know how the grass grows through there, and we went through all the discussion about having the brick, huh?
Yeah.
Or cobblestone, or whatever we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
On the divide. And now it's all grown up with grass and weeds, and it looks terrible.
I can bring it up. I'll bring it up to Robin and
Yeah,
Heather.
because we invested in that.
Oh, I know, no.
We did talk about that a little bit at the, those of you that were at the design public hearing for the roundabout. We actually talked about that strip, and they said that, you know, maybe with the redesign, they could make that where it's like stamped concrete or something, so that the weeds aren't able to come up through
Okay.
the cobblestone, because yes, everybody agreed it looks horrible.
Whose responsibility
Mass
to
DOT.
fund that?
Mass DOT.
They don't.
DOT have any input into that discussion?
It was their public hearing that it was brought up.
Yeah, okay, so they agreed to it.
That
Well,
they
they
said
would
they
try to
would
do
look
that.
at it,
They would
yes.
try to do that. Because
Just
they're-
asking.
Yes, they said they would
Just
look at
asking.
it.
You know, also at that, hearing information session, they
Right.
did talk a little bit more about maybe the town taking on some of the additional landscaping and
Yes,
so forth of
they
the
did.
roundabout itself. So I don't know if there's been much details on that yet, probably the next time.
Not yet, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that strip additionally, and with the grass, there's like bits and pieces of stuff, they don't sweep that,
Yes.
that cobblestone area in the middle. Yeah. So it does look shabby after a while, and
does.
there
It
are
does,
some
yeah.
businesses as well that kind of don't really manicure their front space up to the road in a lot of places. 131 is good for a lot of grown-in sites and stuff, so you go to a lot of other communities and they mow back a lot more. So even if the places don't look that great, between the street, the sidewalk, and there's a nicely maintained greenery, grass or shrubs or whatever. But I see a lot of overgrowth.
Very good. Well, Terry, that was certainly a comprehensive report. We appreciate that. You're doing quite a bit. We certainly appreciate that. Any questions or comments?
Well done, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I do want
Thank you.
to say, I assume that throughout time, I've noticed that we've extended just about every lifeline we can to the host hotel. Does that seem about right? And only asking because it seems like there has to be a correlation with the numbers being down. I think I've seen maybe one wedding there so far this year, which is contrary to many years prior. So I'm just wondering what else can be done creatively to attract more people out there and just kind of give them the rejuvenation they need.
He has been doing quite a bit of work
Yeah, I
in
believe
there,
that.
slowly but surely. He has been doing work. You know, I think part of his problem was he bought it right prior to COVID.
Right.
And then was completely shut down. So I don't think he got off to a very good start. He has been trying to make some improvements. Terry and I and Robin went there, and he did give us a tour of some of the improvements that he has been making. And I know he's replaced like a lot of the mattresses and the things in the individual rooms. So I don't know, Terry, if you have more to add, but I know he has slowly been trying to make improvements within.
They've renovated and upgraded 100 rooms in the southern end of the property. And they do attract a good number of shows per year. And in the proposal that the Sperling Group gave us for our future marketing campaign, I had asked them if they could offer some suggestions about how we can promote the venues that do weddings. So you'll get a digital copy of that. And while we can't promote any one venue independent of the others,
Of course.
there is a whole, I don't know what the right word, infrastructure out there for these venues to try to recruit weddings. There's wedding shows, and there's wedding agents, and so we want to see if there's some way we can help them promote Sturbridge through those advertising, outlets, if you will. So that's as a way of helping them as well, so.
How competitive is that space? Is it very competitive? The wedding, the part of business that serves weddings and these type of venues?
I think that Sturbridge is a highly attractive place for weddings, for sure. I think that the Public House does 3, 4, 5 a weekend. And then Table 3 does a booming business as well. So we've got, the historic charm, the historic culture, we've got the hotel room capacity, the restaurant food base, the highway centrality, and all of that. There's a lot of work.
So there's room to grow, you would imagine.
Pardon?
There's room to grow for business in town to be able to do these sort of things if they can capitalize on it.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks very much, Terry.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, next we have the town planner update.
So a few things. Tractor Supply. So as you know, we had been receiving calls that they had been kind of encroaching out of their storage area. So Bill did send them a letter giving them 30 days to clean up. So Aiden will need to follow up on that for your next meeting, but Bill did send a letter out to them. And then the pilot travel quarterly report is within your packet. Convenient MD, I did make a final inspection, and that project's been completed, and the as-built and engineers' certificates have been received. I did send you all an email. There have been some changes to the zoning act that were in the outside sections of the fiscal 27 state budget, which was kind of a strange place to put these things with no notice to planners or communities, but so there were some changes that would allow electronic notifications for zoning amendments. However, somebody needs to compile that email list to be able to send those electronic notifications, and it looks like maybe that falls to the assessors to have a certified list. But I suggested to Janae, she might want to reach out to her counterparts in other communities to see how other planning departments are going to handle that. It would be nice for zoning amendments already. We can notify Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities and Central Mass Regional Planning Commission via electronic means. But it would be nice to maybe notify the surrounding towns rather than having to send paper copies in the case of a zoning amendment. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It did change the development on non-conforming lots and buildings. So some things that needed to go to the Zoning Board of Appeals previously will not need to go to Zoning Board of Appeals. So if you have a pre-existing non-conforming lot or a pre-existing non-conforming structure and you want to expand, if that expansion will comply with the setbacks and lot coverage requirements, you no longer need to go to the ZBA, but you will have to submit a site plan showing the setbacks and the lot coverage to the building department at time of application, so it can be reviewed by the town planner when it goes into the permit software. If you're not meeting the setbacks or creating new nonconformities, the same rules as always would apply. They added some strange variance language, which I think could be problematic, or at least open up variance opportunities for things that I think might make it challenging for the Zoning Board of Appeals to consider, and they are directed to consider the housing crisis when looking at variance applications and look at practical difficulties. So I think that could be a little challenging. So hopefully there'll be some further information coming, but there was an emergency preamble, so all these things went into effect July 1st. So Janae, Aiden, myself and Robin sat down this morning trying to make kind of a cheat sheet for the planning department to know how to handle these things when they come in. As Aiden's just starting, our bylaw is a little different anyway with regard to determinations and things, so we wanted to make sure at least I wanted to make sure I was leaving at least some guidance before I left. The battery energy storage and solar bylaw, staff is reviewing that just this Wednesday. You do have a meeting coming up August 10th. I know time is of the essence, but I don't know if Aiden will be ready for you for August 10th, or if you might want to consider moving your meeting up a week to, and I don't know what your availability is because it's an off week. And it might be fine, the 10th might be fine, but I guess Ada will have to be in touch with you. It might be more realistic to meet on the 17th, because if we have our staff meeting Wednesday and we have a lot of discussion or changes or questions, as you know, we're working with Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. The 17th might be more realistic, or if Ron Barron is not available on the 10th, the 17th might be more realistic. So I just wanted to ask you, is there availability on the 17th?
I'll be away that day, unfortunately.
You'll be away, okay.
I'm good that day.
All right, so we probably should try to stick with the 10th or even the 24th, even though the 24th is going to press you for time. I think it's important that everybody be present if possible, because I think at that meeting, you're probably going to be voting to go through it and pass it over to the select board to start the hearing process. Because if you remember, these changes go into effect October 1st. So maybe.
I mean, I could maybe come in remotely on the 17th, if that's the date everyone uses. I'm available on the 10th or the 24th, but I could always come in remotely.
I could come in remotely on the 24th.
And you're away on the 24th, okay. So maybe start on the 10th, and then, if need be, continue to the 24th, and with remote options. Just, Janae, I would suggest, I won't be here, but I'm sorry, I'm still in charge. So I would suggest posting as a potential hybrid meeting. So, and just kind of play that one by ear as it goes along. And then, just a reminder, the Doughty Road Conceptual Master Plan meeting will be held Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then, just to reiterate, we still have an opening on the Historical Commission, and we do have openings on the Design Review Committee. If anyone is interested, please reach out to Aiden. And this is my last planning board meeting. It has been an honor to serve you. And
Well,
thank
Jane,
you for all
very
your
much. It's
support.
been a pleasure working with you. I mean,
It's been an honor for us to have you.
It really has been wonderful. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I wish Aiden all the best.
Yep.
And
Yes.
I don't know if he
We
has
welcome
an, I don't know if he has an update.
Anything you'd like to say or anything, Aiden, about?
I don't have any update. All I can say is I've been so incredibly impressed by not only Gene, but also all the town staff and all the members and patrons of the town as well, with how welcoming and engaging and encouraging everyone has been about my coming in and filling Gene's very large shoes, as I've heard from almost
So
everyone.
many people, I feel so bad.
But I'm really looking forward to working with everyone.
Great, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Have you had a chance to drive every road in town yet to see?
Took a big tour today.
Yeah, there's a lot of geography to see.
We hit some, not all. We hit the high points
Yeah.
today. So we have a busy schedule. I've been taking them around to kind of meet key partners. Tomorrow we're going to the Public House. We're meeting with Old Sturbridge Village, Table 3. We went out and met with Rapscallion because you will have an application coming up for the former Hog Heaven. There'll be a new application, so we met with the property owner today there, kind of toured some of the subdivisions and different things today. Fiskdale, the Commercial Tourist District. Yeah, trying to hit all the high points, knowing that at some point I need to leave and let him jump in. So probably, I mean, technically my last day is the 10th, but probably next Tuesday, I'm thinking might be my last full day in the office, and then kind of step back and let Aiden step in, and then I need to come in Monday for that last day, and then then we can kind of go over
Great.
any questions that may have come up, and
Well, you certainly packed a lot into this transition. I mean, I've been involved in transitions in different communities, and I've never seen anything with that comprehensive, with that much information. So you've really done an outstanding job bringing them up to speed on this stuff, and even, projecting forward the issues that are going to be coming up. I think it's really a great job, so certainly appreciate that. I'm sure it's been very helpful and will be very helpful for Aiden. Great, very good. Okay, next we have just old and new business. Paul, any old or new business? Nothing. Sue?
Nothing.
Good to go.
All right, Dave?
Congratulations to you, Jenny. Your new position, new title?
Great. Well deserved.
And you're going to be doing a lot to help Aiden out, I'm sure. So it falls on you, so you do have a lot of responsibility you're going to be taking on. And I think we all have respect for that.
Very good.
yeah, and I, just parting words, can't thank Janae enough, and actually all the staff that I've had here through my entire tenure. Just wonderful. I know they say I run a boot camp down there, and she's kept up remarkably well. So, but I do appreciate all of your help. So,
Very good. All right, well, thank you. Motion to adjourn? So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Very good. All right.